Welcome back to Reptastic Adventures. I am currently standing in a pen in my backyard with a species that I've yet to really talk about on social media, and that is the pancake tortoise. The pancake tortoises come from Tanzania and Kenya. So that's in the continent of Africa, for those of you that don't know. They range from 7 to 10 inches, but most of them you tend to see 6 to 8 inches. As full adults, a 10-inch specimen is probably an extremely large one that is rare to come upon. But this here, oh, look at this. Check this out. There's a fence lizard right there. Look at that. That's a little baby eastern fence lizard. So there must be a group of them around here, and that's because I have this stone, this slate here. That heats up. That heats up. They like to sit on that and bask, as well as that log. But that guy's just chilling right there. There's probably some bugs and insects in there, but that's cool. And I love how being here, and I've seen various species of frogs and snakes and all kinds of things in all the different pens in my backyard. So I think a lot of the water features that I have here provide a lot for them, and they thrive and do well. So yes, we have another animal living in here. So what I was saying is with the slate here, pancake tortoises are capable of inflating and deflating. So they can expand their shell and they can shrink their shell depending on the mood and if they're worried about predators. When they go into a crack or crevice of the stone, they've got to be deflated. They're a little bit on the flatter side. And then they will go down in here and they will wedge themselves. If a predator tries to go in there and grab it, they will wedge themselves way back in there, okay? And it can't be pulled out. So it's like a protective measure that they take to make sure that they don't get eaten by predators. I see one. Now, this is the female. Hopefully I can pull her out. It's gonna be hard because she's gonna puff up and try and keep herself from coming out. Oh, no, I got her just in time. Yeah, just in time. Go on. Look at this. Look at that. Look, I got your favorite. The Hardy biscuits. I'll put it down right there for you for later. But check this out. This is actually an adult pancake tortoise, and it's only like 6 inches. Will it get bigger? Possibly. They certainly can get larger, but she is capable of laying eggs, but their shells are so flat and they're so soft, which is why they can inflate and deflate. But this allows them, and I think this is just from adapting over time, to go in and out of the rocks in the wild, which protects them from predators. But this is a very cool animal and one of my favorites. I only have a pair in this enclosure. I would like to put more out here. It's just, I try and keep animals as natural as possible in the enclosures and the pens, as much as I can for most of the year. Now, they can tolerate cold temperatures, but they do come in for the winter. I try and bring them in usually the end of October, just because the temperatures start getting into the low 30s. So once we get to the temperature at night down to the low 30s, these guys might burrow and you might not even find them in time. So I want to try and collect them at a reasonable time when they're easier to find. Sometimes when I get to that time of year, I have to take all these rocks apart because I can't find them, and they're sometimes burrowed already, as they're aware of the colder temperatures. So I think that it is possible that they could survive out here in the winter, but I wouldn't chance it. It does get pretty cold at night in the desert, but how beautiful is this tortoise? I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with pancake tortoises, as they are readily available from breeders across the United States alone. But the male is probably under there, probably went over into that section. But they come out, they eat, they wander around for very little time. Most tortoises, like gopher tortoises, will spend 90% of their life in their burrow. And I think that a pancake tortoise is, relatively doing the same thing. 90% of the time, it's under here. It comes out, gets a little bit of sun, eats, goes back. And she's not wanting to go back in here because I'm sitting here, but I'm sure she'll be right back in there in no time. But guys, there we have it. This is the pancake tortoise pen. So if you are keeping this species and you have some land, if you can figure out a way to make some sort of natural enclosure for them, that would be ideal. You want to get some slate, stack it. Now they are good climbers, so you got to be careful. I have a little cap that I put on here on the top, and the reason why is because I had one, that female to be exact, climbed out before it had the cap on it in a corner, which I was totally shocked. And she kind of used a plant to kind of help herself up. And my neighbor found her in the yard. So I was thankful, because obviously not only is it less likely to survive through the winter, but they are expensive tortoises. And I do care a lot about the animals, as I do every animal here. And I do everything I can to take precaution into making sure these animals are safe. But yeah, so try and replicate their environment with the slate, plants. Make sure they have shade. They got to be able to get completely dry. They can't be hammered by lots and lots of rain. And they will do just fine. I'm not sure if we have any eggs in here. I've had eggs before, but I've not seen her lay in here, just inside in the wintertime. So she's coming back. She knows where her cave is. And me sitting here, probably at this point, she probably just doesn't care and says, forget this, I'm going right back to my hole. You going back down in there, or you want some of your flour? Oh, she wants to climb up. There she goes. See ya. Have a nice afternoon. All right, and that's just about it from the Reptastic Adventures and the Pancake Tortoise Pen. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.